Hey, everybody. We are live at Paste Studios right now with Covey. Guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I've been enjoying Soundcheck quite a bit, and we're looking forward to sharing what you guys do with our audience right now. And congratulations, because Some Cats Live, Some Cats Die came out at the end of May on Anti-Fragile, and it's out in the world. You're going to play 5 songs from it today.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's coming up first?
First, we're going to play You Can Eat Me, which is about being stranded on an island and giving the person who you're stranded with permission to eat you in order to survive.
I love this, dude.
Yeah. I will make this trip, I'm already dead. You can eat me if you need to, but I won't taste right as you chew through all the good times that we outgrew. You feel the salt wind hit your heavy wet hair that the heat wave couldn't dry out. Now you're crying with a stiff mouth that still tastes like your last bite of my left leg, that's now sheet white as the flies come in the dead of night. You start to venture through the ever-thick trees. Feet are tired, eyes are weary. Find a stray fox in a plane wreck with a split lip and a cracked neck. There's a left shoe at the fox's feet. Must have flown here across the big sea.
Thank you, man. Nice light way to start off this Friday afternoon. Spot of cannibalism.
Lovely.
Yeah. For you, what was it? Was it did it start humorously for you, writing a song about somebody saying it's fine to eat me? Was it like that something more serious, like the selflessness of saying to somebody, seriously, eat me, it's fine? I mean, where did that come from for you?
Yeah, I don't know. It started from a riddle that we used to give each other, and you can Google it. It's like a riddle about an albatross, and a man walks into a restaurant, eats albatross, and then goes outside and kills himself. And you have to figure out why he did it. And there's this giant backstory behind why it happened. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it does involve a bit of cannibalism, which actually kind of does spoil anything.
Well, obviously, I assume that much.
Yeah. But it's kind of spun out from that. And then on this record, taking a trip out to see someone in particular was a theme of mine that I played with in a couple of songs. And basically we there's another song on the record called Plane Crash, which we're actually playing later on, I think. And we're it kind of stemmed from that riddle to begin with, but it also relates to things in real life as well.
Did you say, I forget the title of it, but the one about, I think it was the Argentinian soccer team that crashed in the Andes, probably?
Yeah.
I don't have a question there other than that. I also saw it, this is super interesting for everybody. Can you tell us what's coming up second off of Some Cats Live, Some Cats Die?
Yeah. Now we're doing Bile of the Beast. This song is just kind of about depression and kind of being fed up with day-to-day mundaneness, I guess. But yeah. Think about pulling the trigger. It's more about loading the gun and clutching it close to my chest as the swift morning sun bleeds into my bedroom window, and outlined speckles of dust are raining in every direction as my mental weight crushes me. There's that fox baring teeth at the edge of my bed. Why don't you just leave me alone? I'm already done for. If it's not so bad, then I can't sleep it off. I'll take a pill with a drink, look alive as I sink into the stomach where I'll be broken down by the bile of the beast. I'll be dead in a week. I don't like to move things around since I found that old Gengar toy you gave me. And now it's resting beside the Lego Charmander I glued together to keep from falling apart. There's that fox baring teeth at the edge of my bed. Why don't you just leave me alone? I'm already done for. If it's not so bad and I can't sleep it off, I'll take a pill with a drink, look alive as I sink into the stomach where I'll be broken down by the bile of the beast. I'll be dead in a week. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. That's a great song.
Thank you.
Obviously, the vast majority of songs have some sort of autobiographical element to them. I wonder, how autobiographical is that? Were you like acutely going through some of that shit at the time that song was written? Is it like bits and pieces and elements of other people's thing, or what was happening with you at that time the song was written?
I think it was, a lot of what was going on was very autobiographical. I think the one thing I like doing is kind of putting in the same sense of the like you can eat me being about something so absurd that I've never obviously experienced in my entire life. I like to relate things.
You have not once
stories.
been
not
eaten?
once, weirdly
Right.
enough,
Yeah.
yeah.
Me too.
But no, I like to give stories that are a little exaggerated to what's going on in my own life. That one's a little more cut and dry in terms of what I was going through day to day or what I was thinking day to day, whilst in a dark place. And a lot of this record's written whilst I was going through a rough time, having moved from one state to another, and kind of being uprooted from
a place I thought I was going to live, but turned out to have bed bugs, and kind of just had to move really quickly. And Nightmare Palace was what we called it. Yeah. But
we're gone though.
yeah, but I had already moved away, so my whole life was uprooted, and just started writing whilst I was staying in this house that's on the front cover of the record. Just kind of like in the middle of nowhere, and just started writing pretty much in this big old beautiful house. But yeah, just they all kind of came pouring out after
Cool.
that.
Well, it's good. How are you now? I mean, it's good that
I'm doing good.
mental health stuff is now a bit more in the forefront, and people can talk about it more now than we could 10 years ago. Was it cathartic for you? Are you fine today?
Yeah, I mean, mental health is always an uphill battle. I feel like it tends to be smoke and mirrors, and I'm sure I'll be fighting that for plenty more years.
Forever.
You have
It's
ups
gonna
and downs.
keep happening.
Yeah, it's like it's part of life. I usually learn to deal with it, and you're gonna have bad times, and it's just a matter of like finding an outlet for that specific emotion, and whether that's through talking to somebody, whether it's through writing, whether it's through creating in any way, shape, or form. I do recommend that for anyone who hasn't tried it. It can make things worse, but in a good way, in a cathartic way. In that moment, you might dive deeper into it, but the next day you'll probably feel a little better. It's like that's why it's smoke and mirrors, because like you never know what day you're gonna wake up and feel a little better when you're battling brain chemistry and whatnot. But yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing the song with us and talking about it too. I mean, it's going to connect with a decent amount of the people who are watching this right now.
Hopefully,
everyone either has dealt with it or knows somebody at least who's going through
even,
that. So
it can range from small levels to like intense levels, and I don't think one is any more significant than the other. It's if you're feeling down, you're feeling down, and yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. And can you tell us what you're going to play third off of Some Cats Live, Some Cats Die?
This next song is called Dog and Bone. And it's about the last few days I spent in Boston before moving and having the whole life uprooted in an empty apartment, kind of like with an empty life too. Everything just kind of happened at once, and had this physical representation of emptiness from my apartment being completely empty. Cheers. Cheers to life.
Cheers to mental health.
Yeah, I was going to say cheers to life going to shit. But like,
let's have some alcohol and then talk about mental health.
Nothing like a 12 o'clock beer.
Yeah, thank you for, by the way, cracking those beers, because that then gives me permission to feel much better about my own decision, which I was definitely going to start drinking at 12:30 anyway, but now we're all in it together, so cheers.
Yep. Cool.
Ready?
Yes. Yep, let's go. It's like I've been dead and hung up since May, as your mind unwinds and then starts to fray, as I'm laying slightly off center in my room, counting tiny little craters embedded in my wall. I just haven't been eating at all. I'm still trying to make sense of this. I feel like shit. So should I hollow out the floor and take my place laying down, where no one can hear me, like a dog leaves a bone? You have left me alone, deep underground. You will find that I was proud.
Right. So that song seems like a perfect segue to talk a bit about the songwriting, but a bit about the production of the album as well. So you were, did I get this right? So the songwriting clearly in that bed buggy house out on Long Island was happening there, but then the production. Can you talk a little bit about the recording process, where that happened, and some of the production elements that people hear on the album that's maybe different than the duo setup that we're like the strip down that we're doing today at Paste?
Yeah, generally when I want to put a record together or whatever, I'll start writing and then record as much as I can at home. And we had recently started playing together, me and Siggy, and Siggy does a lot of production too, so I basically like made the demos and made all the like made certain like production choices and arrangement choices at my place, at my home studio or whatever, and then...
Is that the bed buggy mess nightmare, or is that somewhere else?
I'd moved at that point. I started producing the record after I'd moved out. That was where I started writing, and there wasn't actually bed bugs in the place I moved to. It was the place in Boston, in Massachusetts, the place I escaped, yeah.
So can you grab that mic, please?
Yeah. The place he escaped.
But, no, we started basically working on it together, and I brought basically the tracks over to Siggy's place, and we just spent pretty much every night for like 2 months, like just working out the nooks and crannies of each thing, knowing what time we wanted to get it out. But yeah, ended up with the product that we have now, and I'm super happy with it.
Cool. And what's the arrangement like? What do people hear on the album versus what's happening here in the stripped down setup?
Yeah, there's a lot of like it's just like a regular drum, guitar.
It's more like what you'd hear at a show.
Yeah.
Like drums, bass, guitar. There's obviously like more production involved in the record.
Yeah. There's a lot of synth work and a lot of like...
The chord organ.
Yeah, there's chord organ that we used a lot of on the record. That was like kind of the...
I thought you said recorder for a second, and I was about to turn off the whole live stream. And be like,
Next record.
What is a chord organ?
It's like there's a fan underneath it, and it just blows air. Daniel Johnston used to use them a lot, and same with Neutral Milk Hotel. So I managed to like snag one off of eBay that had like all the chords on the side. That was hard to find one with every single chord, because a lot of them are only in certain keys. So I managed to find one with every key, and we just kind of played around with it, and it kind of became a staple of that record. It's used on almost every track, and yeah, probably we'll continue to use that.
It's a good element.
Yeah.
Cool.
Say the closest thing to that, it's like an accordion, but it's like an automatic accordion. It's always like blowing air.
Yeah, it's always blowing air instead of like the
lazy
expression.
man's, the non-manual.
Exactly.
You don't want all the exercise, but you do want it to sound like an accordion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So you've got 2 shows coming up in July in Brooklyn, and so you're going to do this setup at Alphaville. So this is really similar to what people will see when they see you at Alphaville on July 9th. And then Our Wicked Lady as well. You've got the full band setup, so it'll be more similar to the album on July 24th. So enjoy both of those shows. And can you tell us what's coming up next off the album?
Next, we're going to play Gecko, which was one of the first songs that came out of the record, and kind of discusses things that were happening in a relationship of mine before all of the mayhem happened and I had to move and whatnot. But yeah, kind of similar vibes in terms of that exaggerated imagery and stuff. But yeah, the song's called Gecko.
Right.
And I saw my fingers melt into the bone. You were speaking, but I swear I couldn't hear a word you said. Oh my darling, it's late, and I don't think I should stay too long. But I saw you in my dream last night as I stood alone. everybody tried to stay alive. But when we came out again, they'd all burned to the ash-filled ground. But I saw you in my dream last night as I stood alone.
Thank you, guys. So you mentioned some of the direct influence that Neutral Milk Hotel had on this record. Can you tell us more about your influences, either what you were listening to growing up or stuff that you were listening to a lot of while you were writing the songs on this record?
Yeah, I mean, what I grew up listening to might not be a direct comparison to what I'm influenced by. In ways it is. Like, I grew up listening to Blink-182 and like a lot of punk, like pop punk and stuff, particularly Enema of the State's probably one of my favorite records.
Nice.
Just because I had it on cassette and like listened to it on the way to school. I had like an hour-long bus ride each day to and from school. So I'd listen to it once on the way there and then once on the way back. And I still to this day know that record front and back. I still think it's a great record, but like,
Have you kept up with any of the modern day the UFO talk, and as it branches into the paranormal, his whole focus
Tom
and
DeLonge
career,
and his whole alien thing?
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
That's the fun part.
I mean, apparently they're getting back together. They're going to do another album, but I don't know. They keep doing that. I don't know what's going on, but
I will listen to it. You will definitely.
Yeah, I'll definitely listen to it. I mean, I didn't like the last one, to be honest, but like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I still love the older material, and yeah. I
mean, it would be weird if what you were listening to back then did directly influence, and you sounded exactly like what you were listening to when you were 14.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's like very, I don't know, like there was a lot of Sum 41 and a lot of like, you know, that like I used to be ashamed to say that kind of stuff, and then eventually I like grew up like with a lot of people that like also listen to that music, but they keep on the DL, and like and I'm just like, and then eventually like all started coming out, and I was like, oh, I guess I don't have to like hide this anymore, and so now I just like openly state it. And
we are old enough to admit that we were listening to what was in the mainstream at that time, and you weren't always into the coolest, obscurest thing.
Yeah, I wasn't
always.
So like but I don't know. I'm proud to have listened, like been an avid fan of Enema of the State when I was that age, and like, you know, like growing up, like, and then that like morphed into like, I don't know, a lot of like the natural progression of pop punk into emo music and like all that kind of stuff through high school. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know, just like, I think that was a turning point for my music too, is not being ashamed of my influences or not trying to hide from my influences and just kind of embracing them fully. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Good. Well, I'm glad that you got to that point. Not everybody does. There's plenty of closet Sum 41 cases out there who will always be that. And dude, my absolute favorite for years was 40 Ounces to Freedom. I love that Sublime album, and there are people who will not say that is true, but it's true for me. So thank you. What are you gonna do last off of Some Cats Live, Some Cats Die?
I'm gonna do Plane Crash, the joint song to You Can Eat Me. So we're gonna start and finish with the 2 songs that are linked. Yeah, the prequel to You Can Eat Me,
right,
as to how they got on the island, I guess. Catch a plane and enjoy the view as it plummets into solid ground, and as it hits I'll lose my shoe. It lands about 10 feet away from where the plane lays in decay. As I crawl across the bloody floor with broken legs, I head to shore. As the night fills the sky, all my fears are dissipating, 'cause I feel reassured that I might make it through. And if all my luck should burn, then I guess it burned for you. I spread myself across the sand, try my best to play pretend. I'm away on holiday, just on a trip to get away. As the sun cracks the sky, all my fears are dissipating, 'cause I feel reassured that I might make it through. And if all my luck should burn, then I guess it burned for you. And I see what looks like you digging into me. I can feel the honesty in every bite. I'm already torn to shreds, so what difference does it make? Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody. Covey, guys, thank you so much. Tom, thanks for doing this. Sagiv, thank you for doing
Thank
this.
you.
Have great shows at Alphaville on July 9th as a duo. Just this arrangement. Have a great show at Our Wicked Lady on July 24th, which is with the full band. And best of luck on Some Cats Live, Some Cats Die. It's out right now on Anti-Fragile. And thanks again for doing this.
Thank you.
All right.